Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Color Winnie-the-Pooh Copic markers with me, Kevin from StampAnniething. Winnie-the-Pooh is super easy to color, and we're going to start Pooh's body with YR24, YR15, YR38, and YR12. And we're going to start with that darkest color, which is our YR24. So we're going to add that in everywhere where we want our shadows to be and where we want him darkest. I loved coloring Winnie-the-Pooh. Why? Because he was also super easy to color too, because you're only working with color families, which was pretty awesome. I chose the YRs and the Rs. So I'm just again here adding just where I want to see little bits of depth and little bits of shadow in him. And you can choose where you want your light source to be coming from. I don't know, today I think I felt like I was a little all over the place. But just remember, so like I put him in the bottom of his hand, but he's also going to be shadowed under his shirt, under his hands, or his little paws, I should say. And then he'll have some shadow on his legs from his little belly. So I'm just going to add some around his toes as well. And just remember to use the tip of your marker, and you want to use light pressure. And I'm going to use some of this YR24 on the bridge of his nose as well. I hope you have been enjoying the coloring videos from this Pooh set. I have loved coloring these images. And again, this Pooh I used for a birthday card for my neighbor. Her name is Ramona. Absolutely adorable. And she just had turned 3 years old, and she had just actually found Winnie-the-Pooh and started to be interested in watching them. So that was super cute that I was able to make this card for her. So our next color up was our YR38, and we're just adding that in there and extending out from the color that we did. Basically, all you're going for here is a really nice and smooth blend, but you do want to see depth and you do want to see that differentiation in color. So I want to say keep it blended, but don't over blend, because you want to be able to see where some of the texture or the shadow on the light is different. So you can see here, I'm really just kind of following around and then deepening some of my lines, starting to round out those cheeks a little bit, adding a little bit more under the arm. Now we're gonna go in and add some more into his right arm, or the arm on our left, and then into that shadowed area as well. And you can see I'm just kind of using short strokes just to blend everything in there. So I'd love to kind of know, what do you guys see yourself using the Winnie-the-Pooh stamps for? Which character is your favorite? Definitely comment in the comment section. Let me know which is your favorite character from the set. Depending on which video you watched or which order you're watching them in. If you're watching them all of my coloring, I previously mentioned that Eeyore is my favorite because I love him. So YR15 is our next Copic marker up, and we're going to now continue, and we're going to start to fill in around the tops of his ears, the tops of his head, and down into the cheek. We're going to blend that a little bit more. Again, not over blending. We're not going right into the dark that we had colored. We're just staying on the outside edge of our last color. And then here I had to grab my colorless blender because I colored outside the line, and it drives me crazy. So that's why I'll stop and I will erase my mistake. So my colorless blender is pretty much my eraser. That's mostly what I use it for, and it's very much a needed one for me. So our next Copic up was our YR12, and here you can see I'm just gonna fill in the ears. I'm gonna go over his forehead, and again, this video is in real-time coloring. So again, yep, I'm doing a voiceover because there was noise and distraction, and now I've got the time to make sure that we've got a nice calming color video without dogs barking in the background or distraction. But you can see him going over his cute little muzzle here. But this is all just real-time coloring, so you can see like this whole video was only about just over 10 minutes long. So these are super quick characters to do. So when you need to whip up a card or a project, these are the ones that you're going to want to grab for if they fit you, because they are, again, super easy to color. I'd love to try some mixed media journaling with these, or even like a scrapbook layout. I think would be super cute. I don't know. What are you going to use yours for? I'm always curious to know what people do with the stamp. So you can see we've just filled it all in there, and it's pretty much all colored, and I think he looks super duper cute. And look how easy that was. That didn't take us much time at all. It was like 5 minutes of coloring, maybe. We're doing good. So next up, we're going to, oh no, do you know what? Look at me. I'm going back in with some shadow. I thought we were completely done with that. I was wrong. So we're using that YR24 to add just a little bit more depth to the shadowed area. So that's just under his paw, under his shirt, under that sleeve. I'm so sorry. Look at me jumping the gun, thinking that we're done that coloring. And adding a little bit more into the cheeks there and into the ear. Okay, yeah, this makes more sense. This looks better. And that's one thing I like to do is I always kind of go back in with my darkest marker just to add that little bit of extra shadow, like here again under his belly, into his leg and toe, and it just kind of re-adds some definition and just gives it that little bit of pop of something. And again here we're gonna use that colorless blender because I colored outside the lines. Silly. YR1 too. Look at me. I was not even done. Look at me. I thought we were done. All right, so we're going into over 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes on this coloring part. I apologize. Okay, so you can see here now we're just kind of blending that tummy. Okay, this makes more sense to the final image of where I colored to. So I've gone in with some of that dark, and then I've gone in with some of my lightest color just to get that dark, that highlight, low light, light shadow balance better. All right, now we're gonna move on to the shirt. So that only took us about 7 minutes to color. So his shirt is going to be R37, R08, R05, and R14, and those are the only Copics we're using for this. Again, we said 2 color families, and then we're gonna add a white Posca. We're going to start in with that that R37, and this is where we're going to put our darkest part. So it's going to be a little bit more shadowed under his neck, into the shirt sleeve there where those lines are, and into the bottom. And again, it's up to you where you want to put your highlights, lowlights. Hey, if you want to color it with all one color of red and just do that, you can too. And you can do that because the Copic markers are semi-opaque, so the more you layer them, the darker they get. So you could technically just go in with the R37 really dark and over on some of the shadows, and then just go up quickly up to the top to get a different tone. So here you can see we're using the R08 as our next color. Not gonna lie, I do like adding lots of color, so that's why this shirt has 4 reds in it, and his body had 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in it. So yeah, I guess maybe 4 is my magic number. But you can see we're just basically layering it up. It's super simple, super easy to do. This isn't complicated. I'm pretty sure if you colored with Copics before, you don't even need this tutorial. If you're new, I think this is pretty easy to follow. So you can see I'm still leaving space because that space is going to be left for my lightest red, and that is my R14. There's R05 here is just going in, add that little bit more red, and then finally here we go with that R14, that light rouge, I think it's called, and then that's where we're going to fill it in there and make sure it's all nice and colored. And it just really gives that dimension that you need. But you know what? It would be interesting for me to try just trying to see if I could do a color with one color and layering it not as much. And now finally we're going to add a little bit of highlights to his eyes and his ears and his shirt with that white Posca pen. And I think that's what really kind of makes these come to life, and when you get that extra pop of highlight into their eye. I really love that. It's where, I don't know, it's where I think they become happy. They become alive and they become happy when you add that little bit of extra. And see, you can see here, I'm just adding just the tiniest amounts of highlights. I don't want to overdo it. I just wanted that little bit in there. So again, thank you very much for watching me. And this has been a true pleasure. And I loved coloring Winnie-the-Pooh. He's so cute. I can't wait to use him again. So I'll see you in the next video, and thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And see you again.